Here we go, guys. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Akalon Waste. The red Protoss player wearing the color of his people. It is Invictus Gaming's Jim.
King Jim it is, man. He's on his King James stuff.
There's King James and then there's the Jimperor.
Of course, he's going to go up against this very awesome dude in the right bottom side corner of this map. It is none other than Axioms Crank.
And we've been so unfair to Crank. He is a phenomenal player, and he deserves so many more accolades than we have given him, but he is in the presence of a Jim. And, you know, sometimes
sometimes you have to stand in someone's shadow, man.
Right,
I know all about this. I've been doing this my entire career. The very first interview I ever gave. Just kidding.
Jim casts a very large shadow indeed. But Crank is certainly in a position where he can bounce back. We know that he's a capable player that can go all the way if he can get the nerves under control. He talked about how nervous he was in the pregame interview. And I have seen some of the greatest games ever out of Crank, and I would love to see one right now. Jim.
Certainly in PvP, in my opinion, Ben. I think that Crank has always been a pretty damn excellent PvP player. The very first tournament where I would almost say was kind of like his breakout tournament back then was MLG Rally in 2012, where we casted a lot of his games, and it was so much fun to follow Crank's journey throughout that entire tournament back then at MLG. And I was just like, wow, this guy's here to stay, man. He had a fantastic run. I think he ended up top 8 somewhere. I didn't check it out, but I think it was somewhere near top 8, but it was just a really, really good run. That was an extremely stacked tournament, and in my opinion, even in game 1, he looked quite good. And I think Jim rolled the dice, Ben, but we said this before. When Jim rolls the dice, there are only 6s at the dice.
That's right, man. The outcome is jimply inevitable.
The outcome is income. Jim-come!
Oh, man, we see Jim opening up in a slightly different fashion from what we saw on Belshir Vestige. He's got the second gateway down already. He's starting the Mothership Core a little bit later. It's going to be, is this a 3-stalker opening with Mothership Core? A
good old 3-stalker opening. Those are pretty damn good. You get a little bit of map control out early on, and it's so hard for your opponent to scout what's going on behind this. Certainly if he goes for a 1-gate stalker build, which of course you don't see very often anymore, and we can see that Crank is chrono boosting out the Sentry. This might be a proxy Stargate build, Ben. I'm kind of feeling it. Oracle into a Void Ray follow-up, because those builds are good. And this Mothership Core
is so near to scouting this probe.
I think it's going to be proxy Stargate from Jim. Crank.
Surely Crank sees that probe.
Not just this. Okay.
Yep.
You caught a glimpse of it.
Surely, yes. Are you serious, Crank?
It was so small.
Are you serious, Crank?
I am really worried that if this Mothership Core would somehow get sniped, okay, he's going to send it back right now. And he is still... Okay. Because he has to keep this Mothership Core alive. He's going to go for the 1-gate fast expand.
I can't believe you didn't see that.
Well, actually, it's not proxy Stargate, man.
It's not a proxy Stargate. There's a 3rd gate down, so it's going to be some good old 3-gate pressure from Jim.
And now still the timing of every unit really matters. Crank, you're going to have to put that Stalker back. You cannot afford to lose this Stalker.
Oh, and he's already taken some damage. He's going to have to force field. He will force field Jim.
That's a good force field.
Fortunately, does not have any of his Stalkers sectioned off. But with the Mothership Core there, the Jim can still shoot up to the higher. Wow! Mothership Core takes the chance on the Time Warp, and it doesn't pay off immediately.
He can fight the Stalker as well, man. This is going to get rough. Crank might be forced to use Photon Overcharge in his main, and you don't want to do that, man, because if you use it in your main, you're going to lose your natural.
100%. Here comes Jim, 6 Stalkers in the main base. There's the Photon Overcharge, just like we talked about. Jim taking a lot of damage on those Stalkers. I don't know if he's making the right choice
as well
here.
By Crank. I love it.
Catches and kills a Stalker, so Jim forced to fall back. And
come on, Jim, just kill that Nexus. Why would you? Because the Immortal is going to go out. No, I mean, there's no way. It's never going to go out. Even though it's only 1 gate in Immortal. How good are Immortals?
They're
Where's
really,
that second
really,
gate? Oh, okay,
really
there
good.
are 2 additional gates. No, there's no way. Jim should really, in my opinion, focus down that Nexus, man. He can warp in a Sentry on the low ground if he really wants to contain. Perhaps he just... Jim is playing with fire.
He is definitely juggling dynamite right now, Kev. He's going to warp in a single Zealot. He has to know this Immortal's coming.
Zealot
At the same
as
time,
well on the
Zealot
north side of the map.
In Jim's base is going to cause some chaos. Here we go. Jim's going to go for it. There is that 1 Immortal out. A second Immortal is about to pop out. This is no way a fight that Jim's going to be able to win.
Well, he has a crazy amount of Stalkers, man. I wouldn't say that. It all comes down to the force fields, come down to a little bit of micro. Time Warp going down once more. Is he aware of this Zealot in the main? Yes, he is. We can see that on the minimap. But how much damage will he be able to do over here? Is he able to take out these Immortals?
Zealots are staying alive. They're the real key to this strategy. 1 Immortal is going to get very low and it's gonna fall. Jim's gonna continue to warp in. There's no way. There is no way. The other Immortal goes down. Jim with a massive advantage in the main base of Crank. It's 16 army supply to 6. And has he done it again?
Are we ever going to see a game that goes past the 10-minute mark, Ben? That's what I'm wondering right now.
Crank Stalkers fall. GG.